My New Year's resolution is to absolutely destroy ghost videos. Well, maybe that's not the best way to put it. Welcome back to the Loose Professional channel on YouTube. How's everybody doing today? So today I wanted to talk a little bit about ghost videos and why every single ghost video online is fake. And that might cause some some stir. People might start thinking, "Oh my God, he's saying everything's fake." I've got reasons for it, so just stick around, and I'm going to share my thoughts on it, and then you can let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. So, a couple of reasons that I'm making this video have to do with the fact that I've seen so many ghost videos, trying to search for things and looking up, getting ideas for content and that kind of thing, and there's so many out there that are just absolutely positively, like, you can tell they're faked. And it's annoying, but it's especially annoying when I see the top 5 channels and the top 10 channels that are going, doing the top 5 ghost videos, top 10 ghost videos. Channels like Nukes Top 5, Slapped Ham, Sir Spooks. Those are all channels that will build up, and it's lazy content because basically they're just taking other people's content and putting it in their videos. So it's lazy, but also they aren't doing any research with it, because so many times I've seen videos on those top 5, top 10 channels that have been debunked, their creators have said that they're fake, or very obviously fake type of videos that are still on these top 5, top 10 ghost video channels, with people in the comments that are like, "Oh my God, that was so crazy. I can't believe that happened." So I wanted to take some time today to talk about that and my thoughts on ghost videos. And it's already getting too long, so let me get into it. Okay, so to get started with this, I want to talk a little bit about why ghost videos appeal to so many people. And a big part of that has to do with the paranormal and the desire for paranormal stuff. A lot of people either believe in ghosts or want to believe in ghosts. And a big part of that has to do with if the afterlife is real, that means that death isn't the end, that there's more to come after we die. In whatever way you want to take that, whether it's we go to an afterlife someplace, or we stay trapped on the earth as ghosts, which, depending on the circumstances, might be kind of cool or might be terrible, depending on if you're trapped in a specific location. But so I think that's a big reason that a lot of people love this kind of content. And if it's not because of believing in ghosts or wanting to believe in ghosts, it falls on the fence of wanting to be scared and loving that feeling of getting goosebumps when you're in a scary place or watching a scary video. And I can't knock that, because I enjoy that as well. And it's not the people I'm directing this at and talking to aren't necessarily the people that are watching these videos for fun and understand that they're all fake. It's the people who are unsure or who believe all of them, because there's a lot of reasons out there to fake ghost videos, and so we're going to go into that a little bit. So one of the biggest reasons that people will fake ghost videos is because we as people are naturally hardwired to want attention. And that attention can come from affirmation from our peers, it can come from groups of friends, and nowadays with YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and TikTok and all of these social media sites out there, it's affirmation from complete strangers on the internet. And a big reason for this affirmation is to give us a sense of belonging. We want to belong to a group. We want to belong to, whether it's an exclusive club of like big YouTubers, or just a small group of people that we can say, "Hey, I've made a dent online. I've got my footprint out there." So because of that need inherently, people they try to find ways, and some people more than others. There's some people that they might make a YouTube channel, or they might have a small social media presence out there, but they aren't necessarily intent on making it big. They aren't necessarily looking for fame and fortune, but they do still like some of that attention. It feels good when you get a like on a comment on Facebook, or you get a like on a tweet. And the reason why it feels so good has a lot to do with the way that our brains work and the dopamine rush that we get when we get that like. It's very similar to the rush of dopamine that comes from winning if you've won something small on a lottery ticket, or if you got a promotion at work, or you got a new job, did well on a test at school, that kind of thing. You get a dopamine rush from that, and it's exciting. And it's the same thing that kind of translates into the social media realm when you get a like on something and it makes you feel good. And for some people, that becomes something that they chase and they want to get more. They need more likes. They need more, whatever it happens to be. And so but they want to do it in the easiest way possible. So what is that easiest way possible? Well, if you combine the first 2 points, one, that a lot of people want to see ghost videos or scary content, and two, that people like that rush of dopamine whenever they get, a new subscriber or a like or whatever, you wind up with a situation where somebody sees a viral video happen. So you're sitting back, maybe you're scrolling through your TikTok or your YouTube or whatever, and you see a video that's just blown up. It's something you haven't seen before, but it's got hundreds of thousands or millions of views on it. And you watch the video, and it's some easy content that you see it and you're like, I could make that. I could do the same thing. Why don't I have all of these likes? Why don't I have all of these views? And so they set about making their own video to copy that video. And sometimes it's a carbon copy, it's a one-for-one copy. Sometimes they put a spin on it, they change it up a little bit, and they put a video out there. And maybe that video doesn't do so well, so they kind of find another one, and they keep doing the same thing. Or maybe that video does really well and they get excited and they're happy and they have all of this, what they perceive as success, but then the rush kind of wears off a little bit. And so they start to feel more like, I need another one of these. I need another hit. So they go out and they copy another video, or maybe they make a couple of videos similar to the first one, but they don't do as well. And inevitably that it kind of becomes a cycle for a lot of people. And I see this all the time when I'm searching for ghost videos on YouTube. When you search ghost videos, and if you sort by newest, and you sort by upload date, and you see a lot of videos that maybe you've seen bigger videos out there that look very similar. And sometimes you'll see something a little unique, but they might have 10 views or 15 views. Some of them maybe 100 or 200 views, but they're never that many, but it's a low effort content. And if you look at the channels that are putting these out there, you'll see a lot of times, a lot of these channels have very similar content, and they'll be pumping out videos just hoping that one takes off. And so it winds up being pretty low effort for the most part, although it can get a little complex sometimes. By the way, quick tea break. Got my normal people scare me mug. And if you didn't notice, I got Fred back here. He finally brought him out of the cold. It got a little chilly for his old bones out there, so we brought him in out of the cold. So let me take a step back and digress a little bit. So I found a video where Buzzfeed Unsolved Network, there was a girl in there that actually did kind of an experiment. She wanted to see how easy it would be to copy one of these viral hits and make her own viral video. And so she goes about looking around, trying to figure out what do I want to copy? What do I want to go after to kind of see what's going to happen with this? And she found a video that tends to be one of the more popular types of videos. And that's basically a video where the uploader claims that something was in the background of the video that they didn't notice. And the video specifically that she highlighted was one where somebody was panning around in a restaurant. They're panning the camera around the restaurant and looking at their friend and just chatting. And for the video, they zoom in on the trash can in the background, and all you see is these little eyes peering out of the trash can. And that wound up going really viral because the person was like, oh, I see this scary thing that I didn't notice when I was there. How freaky is that somebody was watching? And a lot of people could relate to the feeling of like being afraid that something is watching them. Maybe somebody, but something could be watching from any little area. A lot of people relate to that kind of feeling. So of course that video took off. And so the video that she decides to make, I don't want to spoil it. I'll link the video down in the comments below. I'll link the video down in the description below, so that you can go and check it out yourself. It's a really interesting video, really well done. But the results wind up speaking for themselves, because the video that she makes does go viral, but to some negativity as well, because she is an overall honest person and came out after it had gone viral and told all the people that had liked it and everything, that, hey, this was a hoax, this is what I was doing. And she got some backlash for it. And that kind of boils into my next point of people believe things inherently that they see online. They'll see a video, they'll see a post, and they'll just assume that it's real. And it's the old adage that it used to be a joke back in the day, where we would joke that, you know, everything on the internet's true. And it seems like some people have taken that literally. Especially, I've noticed in the past like 5 or 6 years especially. And it's not just ghost videos. It's all kinds of things, especially like in the U.S. I don't know about elsewhere in the world, but in the U.S., like the political climate has been one that people will see posts on social media, and if it aligns with their viewpoint, they'll repost it without even checking on it. If it's against their viewpoint, then they'll use it as evidence, you know, to support whatever they have to say, or they'll share it, they'll hate tweet it or whatever, without checking to see if it's true. And that's become almost an epidemic online, where people, they're busy with their own lives, and I understand that, but you can't just believe things just because they show up in a video or in a post. You have to do your own due diligence and your own research. Okay, so what does all of this have to do with top 5 and top 10 channels, and why am I bringing all this up in regards to those channels? So the same kind of thing falls in line with the top 5 and top 10 channels. They don't do any research on the videos that they post. They'll make a quick video that's something really easy to make. Anybody can make a top 5 or top 10 channel, even with, you know, you don't even have to appear on camera. You just voice over in a microphone, talk about each clip a little bit, and then you use your out at the end of the clips by saying, what do you think? Do you think this is real? Do you think this is faked? Leave your, you know, thoughts in the comments below. And the problem with that is, if you're leaving it up to the users to decide whether or not your videos that you're showing, that you're highlighting, are real or fake, you're probably doing something wrong, especially when you have videos that are obviously faked, that are, you know, up to and including a clip from a small indie film that was used in one of the top 5 videos I was watching. It's crazy that they don't do it, and they get so much success. They take off and they blow up. And a lot of that is, you know, sometimes they're taking off of videos that were trying to do the same thing, that wanted to take off and become big and famous, and they're becoming big and famous off of these videos. And it's not content that they created. They aren't doing anything with it. It technically falls within copyright laws. Copyright laws can be a little hazy. This is why I tend to stray away from, you know, showing a lot of videos and stuff like that on my channel, and all of it's me and stuff that I'm creating for the most part, because copyright laws can get really crazy. Like, you can get copyright claim for something that's not even that falls under fair use, and then you have to fight whether it's fair use or not, and it's just it's gray for me. So I try to stay away from that. But these top 5, top 10 channels, they'll take this content that's not theirs, throw it up, sometimes in its entirety, sometimes they'll split it up and, you know, cut little pieces out of it for brevity. But they're using this. It's lazy. And it's especially lazy because they aren't even checking the history of the video. And I suppose if they checked the history of the video, they would have a lot less content to put out. I mean, let's be real. Given how many videos are very obviously faked, whether it's the CGI was used or bad cuts or any number of things, when it comes to that kind of stuff, they don't bother to do any of their research. I'm being distracted because the cat's down here now. Yep, come here. And look who shows up. You gotta say hi to your fans. Yeah, you gotta say hi to your fans. I'm getting too easily distracted. Yep, say hi. There you go. You can lay down next to me. I told you he'd come back at some point. Where was I? Okay, top 5, top 10 channels, lazy. I did find something, though, that really intrigued me. A video by Thoughty2, which is kind of an educational channel. They usually do a pretty good job of covering different topics. And the one video that I found, they were talking about the state of movies and the entertainment industry. And essentially what they were kind of coming down to was that movies have gotten worse in the past 20, 30, 40 years. And the reason that they say they've gotten worse it goes back to a bunch of different things, but it kind of boils down to studios wanting to make money. And I think that bleeds in perfectly with the YouTube thing, because whether it's a movie studio or a content creator on YouTube, if they can find an easy, quick way to make a buck, they're going to take advantage of it. That's why you see so many rehashes of superhero movies. That's why you see so many movies that are claimed to be blockbuster hits but are rehashing old storylines or rebooting franchises from the 60s or the 70s or the 80s or the 90s. They're doing all of this stuff because they know that it's going to make money. Now, every once in a while they might take a risk, a smaller studio, and wind up flopping because they make a terrible mistake one way or another. But for the most part, these big studios, and even on YouTube, it's the same deal. If you look across YouTube, you're going to see a lot of very similar content. You're going to see a lot of manufactured looking content. And especially from the bigger channels, as they get to be huge, and these top 5 and top 10 channels are definitely one of the rule setters here. They've come up with a formula for how to draw viewers in. They don't care if the content is good or quality, and they don't care if the content is true. They're going to play it off as true, but it's low effort, low quality, and it's a bunch of BS, to be honest. And the fact that they get away with it and that they make money off of it, it's crazy to me. And on the one hand, I'm not going to fault them. I don't think that they're bad people. They're taking advantage of a system. The system that's put in place is built to copy what the other guy did for success and have quick success. We've seen that time and time again. That's why there's so many top 5, top 10 channels, and channels that will just reuse content. You have a whole bunch of, a few years ago, there's the prank channels on YouTube were huge, and everybody had a prank channel. I mean, it was just left and right. The first big one blew up, and everybody started to fall in line behind that. And you've got commentary channels, you've got drama channels, you've got that pop up because they see success. They see somebody has success, and they want to copy that success, and they want to be the next successful channel. And top 5, top 10 channels do the same thing. They're unoriginal content, and it's all to get this dopamine rush, to get the bigger numbers. And yes, eventually it grows into, for most big YouTubers, it grows into a business, and those things become necessary to make money, which they need at that point to hire people and pay salaries and that kind of stuff. But once you get to that point, when you've built it on that, it could crumble down in a heartbeat, because at that point you've built your entire career on a trend. These top 5, top 10 channels, the one good thing they have going for them when it comes to that trendy stuff is if tomorrow Ghosts and stuff went out of style, they'd have something else to count down. But that it drives me absolutely crazy to see this kind of low effort stuff that is all over the place. And it's frustrating, because I've seen a lot of smaller channels, because I routinely will look for smaller channels that have under 10,000 subscribers, that make good content, that are good personalities, or people that deserve to maybe have a little bit more notoriety. People like World of Mr. Gray comes to mind as one of those that is an awesome personality. He does a really great job on his channel, and he's growing. But I bet if he made a top 5 or top 10 channel, if he threw away all of his principles and started lying to people, he'd blow up overnight, because that's how it works. If you're good at making content and you jump into one of those niches, that's how you grow. That's how you blow up like that. And it's just sad to me to see smaller channels that deserve much bigger notoriety, like Mr. Gray, that just, it's going to take a long time if they ever see it. Because YouTube, just like every other business, they're in it for the money. And whether that's right, wrong, or indifferent doesn't matter, because that's the reason that they're in it. That's why we like the YouTube algorithm. If, you know, this video, if this video gets some views and it gets some watch time, you know, the algorithm will start to kind of push that a little bit. But it's not going to just blow up. Like, it's not one of those videos that's going to grab everybody's attention and become an overnight success with 1 million views, because the way that the algorithm works is not in the creator's favor. It's in the viewer's favor. And that's what these channels that do this content know is, hey, we're going to go after where we know that YouTube's going to push the viewer because YouTube controls all of it. And to be fair, YouTube's matching the viewer up with the content. And they're saying, hey, you've watched this other stuff, we think you'll like this as well. The problem is this kind of goes back, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So YouTube, back when it first started and as it started to grow and kind of figure out its algorithm, a lot of the early content on YouTube was, let's be honest, trash. I don't know any other way to say it. There's still a lot of trash on YouTube, but a lot of the early content especially was absolute garbage and was being pushed out as viral. Like, YouTube was just showing it to people because they knew that they would watch it. They would get a laugh out of it maybe, or, you know, something goofy. The prank channels blowing up is evidence of that the prank channels mostly were trash. There wasn't any good prank channels. But YouTube was pushing the content because people were watching it. And it's the same thing with ghost videos. People watch it for one reason, you know, the reasons that we stated earlier. They want to believe, they do believe, they want to be spooked. And because of all of that, more and more trash gets made because people see it and they want to copy the success. And most people aren't going to get the success. And we're kind of stuck at this point because YouTube looks at your watch history, which they fed you for however many years you've been on the platform, including maybe some of that trash. And it's garbage in, garbage out. It keeps going through the process. And every once in a while, you'll have a channel blow up that actually makes some really good content. And there are some of those out there. There are some really great channels that blew up. Mark Rober comes to mind. I love Mark Rober's channel. He does some awesome science-based kind of stuff and the projects and crazy wacky stuff, but it's a lot of fun. And dude totally deserved it. But he spent years building that. You know, he didn't blow up overnight. He made great content from the beginning, and it took forever to get the views. Steadily increased till he finally got up there. But that's the difference between these top 5, these lazy top 5, top 10 channels, like Nuke Top 5, Slapped Ham, Sir Spooks. Those channels are lazy. They'll blow up quick because they're lazy, because they're putting out content that they know is going to appeal, especially when it's clickbait, because a lot of it is, and they'll blow up quick. And I don't think that they deserve it. I really, honestly don't. I think people like Mark Rober do deserve it. But people like Sir Spooks, Nuke's Top 5, Slapped Ham, and other top 5 channels and top 10 channels, I don't think they deserve it. Honest opinion. And you might hate me for that, or you might love it, but that's my honest opinion. And so with that out of the way, I do want to take a minute to talk a little bit about questions to ask about ghost videos. So with all of that other stuff, if you're watching a ghost video, whether it's on one of these top 5, top 10 channels, or whether you're watching it, you just found it, whether it's TikTok or whatever it happens to be, if you found one of these ghost videos, there are some questions that you can ask, and there's some things that you can look at to help yourself to determine, you know, maybe you've seen a lot of videos, or you believe in ghosts and you believe in these videos, or you can't debunk them. Maybe you're trying to debunk them, but you're just not sure how. And there's some basic questions that you can ask. The first thing that I put down here is look at it like you're a police officer looking at a murder suspect. And you want to see if means, motive, and opportunity for faking. Now, means and opportunity are pretty simple. Means would be, do they have a camera? Do they have editing software? Do they have actors? or could they have actors? Obviously, if the video's up, they have a camera. Chances are, in this day and age, they probably have editing software. It's everywhere, including on your phone. Like, there's editing software on my Google phone for videos, for short little quick edits. So editing software is pretty simple. So high chance they probably have that. Actors, they could get friends and family. You know, there's people out there, they don't have to hire professional actors to act in a ghost video. Get some friends, go out to a spooky place, make a video. It's really simple, really easy. Opportunity is the other one that's really easy. Obviously, if the video's up, they had the opportunity to make the video. Whether it's fake or real, they had the opportunity to make it. So that that leaves motive. And motive for faking a ghost video. Why would somebody want to fake a ghost video? Well, like we talked about before, obviously the dopamine rush, the fame, 5 minutes of fame. A lot of people want to get that, so they'll make a video that they think is going to go viral, and sometimes it does. But they could have other motives for making a video. It could be as simple as they are a student making a project. You know, they are harmless project that they're making it for fun. Nothing wrong there. Could be like the one we talked about with the Buzzfeed Unsolved network earlier, where she was making it as an experiment. So that could be a reason why somebody's making a video. Outside of those, there's probably other reasons that I haven't thought of. That there's a bunch of reasons that somebody could make a or could fake a ghost video. I mean, maybe they just wanted to test out their editing skills. Maybe they wanted to play around with it, make a video for fun, not expecting it to blow up, show to friends and family. Like, there's a billion reasons people could want to fake a ghost video, and it doesn't have to be nefarious purposes, you know. And let's be honest, wanting to have your 5 minutes of fame isn't for nefarious purposes. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't see a problem necessarily with somebody wanting to get that. Where I see the problem is in the lying part of it. When you're lying to people and you're telling people, yeah, this is a 100% real ghost video, and leading people to believe that it is a 100% real ghost video, that you didn't fake any of it. That's where the problem comes in, because then you're kind of throwing it out there, and when it comes out that you were faking it, because if you get big enough, it will come out. When it comes out that you were faking it, you're going to destroy the trust of a lot of people, not just your fans, but you're going to destroy the trust of anybody that's ever seen a ghost video and believed it, because now it's more stuff in there for the people that, you know, heck, maybe there's one person out there that captured an actual true ghost on video and we'll never know it because of all the fakers. So that would be a bad motivation to me if you're lying to your audience, and that should never be the case. So another thing that we should ask when we're watching these videos is, do we know the origin of the video? And it kind of ties a little bit into the above for the motive, but do we know where the video came from? Do we know the original creator of the video? If we do, if you're watching a top 5 channel and they show a video and they give you the original creator, it's easy enough to go and check out that creator's YouTube channel. You should be doing that anyway. If their video is being featured on somebody else's video, they deserve the views. But go check out the creator and see, what is this creator about? What kind of content do they make? What are they doing on a normal basis? Are they doing an art project? Are they doing something like an ARG, which is an alternate reality game? And those have become popular in the past few years. Have they admitted that it was a hoax? Maybe they did spend years making videos lying to their audience and then came out and said, yeah, you know what, guys, it's all fake. You know, there's channels on YouTube, and I'm not going to mention any names, but channels that did spend years faking and either directly came out or indirectly came out, like maybe in their description for their channel, and snuck in there like, yeah, these videos are all fake. They're all for entertainment purposes only. So there's those out there as well. If we don't know the origins of the video, we have to assume it's fake. The sad fact is that there are people that will make fake videos without caring about getting the glory. They don't care if their name is attached to it, but they'll revel in the fact that they can sit back whenever somebody's responding to it, whenever they see it on the top 5 channel, whenever it's highlighted in the news or wherever. They revel in the fact that I did that. That's my project. So if we don't know the creator, we have to assume faked. We cannot, because it's too easy for somebody to take a video that isn't theirs, upload it, saying it's real. You know, I found this video online. I found this video from, you know, I've talked in prior stuff about, you know, older videos. I found this video that was recorded in 1990 or whatever, and it's real, and it's too easy to do that. And because it's too easy to do that, we have to default to faked unless there's some kind of an evidence, that some kind of strong hard evidence that comes across to say, yes, this is absolutely concretely true. And because we can't do that, we cannot accept that. You can't just take it on faith. If you do that, you get wrapped up in it and you start to believe anything. And you know, I've got a video planned coming up here soon to talk a little bit about epistemology and the way that we come to conclusions and that kind of stuff. But for this, like, that ties in really deeply there. We have to assume, unless there's hard truth or hard evidence, we have to assume it was faked because we don't know who the creator was. And it could be anybody. And because of that, you got to go with it's faked. The last question is not really a question per se, but it's something you can do when you're watching these videos, and that's look for obvious cuts, obvious edits, CGI. There's a lot of videos out there that are very, very clearly CGI. It's badly done CGI, and things like a mask, you know, using masking, which we've talked about before. Cuts and masking, especially masking, can be really difficult to hide, depending on the lighting circumstances, and if the camera's sitting still, it makes it a lot easier, but moving around, it can be a lot more difficult, but it's still possible. You can still mask things in, just not of the same scene. Like a normal mask, when you think of it, is you get a clean plate of the video, and then you do whatever you're going to do, and then you just put it in. I did it with my kitchen video a few weeks ago when I was showing how to fake videos. So that's what you think of as normally as a mask, but also masks can involve, you know, you have a shadow figure or something like that you can bring into the screen using a mask, even while you're moving the camera around. That takes a little bit more editing effort, but it's still doable. But those can be a little easier to spot. Cuts can be a little difficult at times to spot. Sometimes easier than others. You have to kind of watch frame by frame sometimes, so it can be a little bit difficult to catch those, but they're still doable. You can still catch that kind of stuff. CGI is probably the easiest one to spot, just because, like, to make good CGI, as we've seen with some bigger movie theaters that have screwed up CGI in big movies over the past few years, CGI is really tricky. And especially if you are an amateur filmmaker or editor trying to get into the world of CGI, it can be hard to make the lighting on the CGI character match. It's difficult to make it look like it fits into the location. One of the videos that is actually, I think Nuke's Top 5 featured the video. Let's sip of tea. I think Nuke's Top 5 featured a video though that was, supposedly it was a video of a giant lizard-like creature running through a cave with these two guys. And when you watch the video, you can tell it's CGI. It's pretty plain, it's pretty clear. But on top of that, when you actually go to the guy's channel, you find out he's an amateur filmmaker. He makes stuff like that all the time, and he doesn't claim that it's real. He's making these little miniature films for fun. And he does some really cool work, and he does a decent job. He does way better than I would. But he's still amateur, and he's still working out the kinks. But this video is very clearly CGI'd, and so that's a little easier to spot than some of the other edits. But look for little things like that whenever you're watching a video. And the biggest thing is go into it as a skeptic. Whether you're skeptical now or consider yourself skeptical now or not, if you're watching ghost videos and you're unsure, go into it as a skeptic. Ask the questions that we talked about. Try and figure it out. And if you can't necessarily answer, it's okay to say, I don't know. It's better to say, I don't know, than to say, well, I can't explain it, so this is absolute proof that ghosts are real. You don't ever want to do that. You don't want to do that because it's not a good way to get to conclusions. If you want to get to a conclusion, saying I don't know about something means that there's an opportunity to learn. And learning is important. And that's more, and some of the stuff that I want to cover this year going forward throughout the year is talking about some of the ways that we can learn, some of the ways that we can know things. I know I've done videos in the past about how we can know things, but I want to kind of dig more into that because I think it's really important, and especially nowadays when people will get so heated, and this is a little segue here, not segue, what's the word I'm looking for? You guys know what I mean. changing the topic just a teeny bit here. But nowadays people get so angry at people with opposing viewpoints that they don't take the time to stop and listen to those people's views. The person sitting across from you that you're talking to about a heated topic, you guys might disagree completely. And maybe they are 100% wrong on whatever they're coming across saying, but you could be too. And it's important to listen to what they have to say, and for both sides. Like, everybody needs to do this. Listen to what a person's argument is. Ask them questions. And, when we get into street epistemology and talking a little bit more about that, street epistemology is basically asking people questions. There's a guy that did a series on it I watched a few years back where he would basically go out and he would ask random people in parks or on the street questions. He would get their consent first to talk and film them and everything, but basically he would ask them, okay, give me a belief, any belief that you have, that you strongly have, and they would provide a belief, and then he would just start asking them questions and letting them answer the questions. If you think it, you shouldn't go into a situation thinking, I'm right, they're wrong. You should go into the situation thinking, I want to know what they think, why they think that. And dig deep into it and ask questions and be inquisitive, because you never know when you're going to wind up in a circumstance where talking to somebody and asking those questions is going to make you take a step back and say, you know what, they might actually have a point there. And I'm not saying to accept somebody's belief or whatever they're espousing just based on that one thing. But you should at least walk away from that conversation wanting to learn more about it. Because maybe they answered a question that you had that was, you thought sounded like maybe it was a pretty good answer. But later on, when you go out and you research a little bit more and you learn a little bit more about it, you wind up finding out, okay, that wasn't as good of an answer as I thought it was. And that's not going to happen all the time. You might find out that, they actually were right about that. The most important thing you can be willing to do is admit that you were wrong about something and be willing to change your views when presented with new evidence. So, that being said, getting into a little bit more than I wanted to get into with that, but I think it's important, and I think it's good to have conversations, to think about things. And while I will stand by 100% what I said before, that every ghost video online is faked, I'm also open to the possibility of there being a video that isn't faked. Now, that doesn't mean that I can debunk every video. I could look at a video and maybe not know how they did it. Or I could look at a video and think it looks really convincing. But at the end of the day, I wasn't there when they filmed it. I don't know. It could be 100% real for all I know. But I'm not about to claim that a video is 100% real because I don't have any evidence of that. It's just not possible to have evidence with how easy it is to edit videos, to record videos. Everybody has a camera on them now. Like, it's become so easy, and that it frustrates me because I would love to see something like that. You know, I've never, you know, I've talked before about things I've experienced that I can't necessarily explain, but I haven't experienced anything throughout my life that has me convinced today. And that's frustrating because I would love to find that kind of evidence. But it not being there, there's nothing I can do about that. So, I know that's a lot. Got a little deep there with some things. Cat's down here sleeping still. Oh, make everybody feel a little bit better. Say hi. It's like, Dad, why are you picking me up? I'm trying to sleep. I know. I bothered you from your sleep again. I'm always doing that, aren't I? Yeah, you're fine. Lay back down. So, end the video on a good note there with the cat. Are you going to jump up on the back of the couch now? There he is. There you go. Yeah, now you're showing up. He's looking at me like I'm absolutely crazy. Which, to be fair, I probably am. But on that note, go ahead and pop a video right up here over Fred's face right here. So go check that video out next. Yeah, that's all I've got. I am working on the next Ohio Legends and Tales video. I'm planning it. I'm in the planning stages, hoping to be able to get out and shoot in the next couple of weeks so that I can finally get one of those videos back up because I've missed that. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, that's all I've got. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.